Hey, this is not my new car, but this is a buddy's 1997 NA Miata, and he just left it with me for a few days, just because, so I'm driving it around. I thought I'd shoot a quick video and talk about the car. So I'm gonna kind of just drive it a little bit here in a minute and talk about it. But this is the first generation Miata. This video is not telling you all about these because I don't know a lot about them. My dad had one. He had a 1990, which is the same as this. This is just the end of the production run for that car. But this car's in really good shape. Obviously it's the red. It's only got 58,000 miles. It has a little bit of hail damage, but it's really not bad. Not bad at all. Top's in great shape. Interior's in great shape. Engine's in really great shape. It's the only mods on this car at all are a short shifter and the steering wheel. And I'll show you the engine bay. It's got the original wheels. It's got a few bumps and bruises that you know, goes with the age of the car, but quite lovely little car. Very clean. This is also aftermarket, some sort of intake, cold air induction. And but as you can see, it's super clean. Again, not my car, it's a friend's car. I'm just borrowing it. And but let's take it on a little drive, and I'll talk to you about it. So a couple things that I know. You ready? Let's do it. About these cars. So you can have one of these. This is a 97. So you can have an NA Miata in decent shape. I've just kind of been poking around looking. You can find a decent one for, you know, I've seen them from between like $4,000 and $10,000. Let's see if you can fix that. And this also obviously has an aftermarket radio. But this is what I was talking about, the aftermarket steering wheel, which my friend who owns this told me that the reason he put this in here, he, like me, is like 6'2", 6'3", and I actually fit in this car pretty fine. I'll talk about that in a moment. But people put these in here because the diameter's smaller and you can actually like get in and out easier versus the stock one. It's harder. Short shifter here. And let's take it on a quick spin. So yeah, that's kind of the mod to do. So I'm 6'2.5". I do fit in this car. There's the mileage, really low, and it drives like it too. Yeah, again, 3, 4. You know, if you get one that's beat, and then up towards like 10,000 if you get a really nice one. That's what I've seen on Facebook and Craigslist. And reliability for these obviously is excellent because, I mean, you see them everywhere still. The NAs, even with tons of miles, I've seen them with, you know, 200,000 miles, and they're still running great. Maintenance is cheap. The aftermarket support is just unbelievable. There's so much aftermarket support on these cars. Yeah, performance on these, I'll do a couple rips here in a minute. You know, it's not great. It's wonderful though because you feel everything. You feel everything. I would say you even feel more in this than like you do in my CRX. The CRX weighs less actually. This is a 2,200 pound car. The CRX of my CRX is 2,000. But for whatever reason, this is just smaller. It's, you know, you actually feel more, and I think they built it that way to, you know, that it'd be more of a driver's car. You know, again, the performance for the early 90s, it was okay. I don't know the 0 to 60 numbers, but I mean, it's not in any way fast by today's standards, but it's enough. You know, it's not fast by any means, but you know, it feels pretty quick. And you know, it's a car you just drive. You know, you feel everything. I mean, the steering is just incredible. This is a stock suspension, and I mean, every little movement you make, you feel like your butt's about 5 inches from the ground, and that's on the stock suspension, stock tires. Another rip here, and then just have the novelty of having a Miata. All right, here we go. And it's loud. You hear everything. Part of that's probably because of the cold air intake, but I suspect it's just the way this car feels. There's not a lot of insulation, not a lot of sound deadening, anything like that. But yeah, the place it shines is just, again, the you know, the connection feeling, the steering, the inputs. Brakes are great. You know, throttle response is great. It's just a driver's car. It's an analog, mechanical feeling car. There's no, aside from the airbag, which as you can see is not working because it's got this aftermarket steering wheel, so the airbag light is on. And but yeah, And I guess kind of the last thought I have on this, you know, if you're thinking about owning one of these, I've thought about owning one of these for the last 5 or 10 years. I thought about picking one up, and my buddy even kind of jokingly offered to trade this for one of my cars. And the thing that would keep me from owning one of these, aside from, you know, the fact that it's only 2 seats and it's tiny, is that once you get going about 50 or 60 on the interstate, you really can't hear anything. If you wanted to go 70 or 80 miles an hour, you're probably, you know, in the 3,000 to 4,000 RPM. It's just not, it's not a comfortable car to do any real kind of trips in. So at that point, it's just so loud. I mean, even my daughter and I were riding along on the way home from Grandma's house, and I could just, even at 50, like I was having to raise my voice to, like, you know, to be able to communicate because it's so loud. And then the other thing about it is just the seating position. I'm 6'2" or 6'3", and, you know, tall people don't typically get in these. I've got this car, I've got the seat all the way back, and when it's all the way back, then you know, you kind of have enough leg room, which I'm actually comfortable, but then you have to have the seat like totally almost like upright. You can't lean back at all. So I've been in it. This is the second time I've driven it, and I've been in it about 20 minutes, and my lower back is starting to kind of hurt. Now I am almost 50, so that's something to take into consideration. But I really think if you're a tall person, probably over 6 feet, if you have any kind of like back issues or you're getting up there in age, you know, without being able to recline the seat, your back might not feel real good after 20 or 30 minutes. That's the case with me. I don't know if that's everybody, but that would probably keep me from getting one of these, just because, you know, it's not super comfortable. And even like yesterday, my buddy drove it here from Atlanta, which was about 2.5 hours, and after that, like he parked and he like kind of unfolded himself out of the car like a pretzel and just was stretching, and, you know, it's like, geez, you know, road trips are no fun in this car. And, you know, I get it. So even if you're young, and he's young, he's in his 20s, so but that aside, great car. Probably a great car for a littler person would be my summary. And that is the 1997 Miata review.